Hi skiers, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. We're here today to do another 2019 ski review. We're trying to do as many of these as we can. Usually we try and do at least one a week, so keep checking back for more 2019 ski reviews. And this time around we're taking a look at this Salomon QST 106. Some changes to the QST line for 2019, so we thought we would cover that. And kind of talk a little bit about performance. In the past, we've done reviews of the QST 99, and we also did a QST 118 review on a big powder day last year. So check out those reviews if you haven't seen those. Those are the older versions, so those reviews don't include the updates to these skis. So if you go back and take a look at those reviews, kind of keep in mind that what I'm saying in this review can kind of be carried through to the performance of those skis as well. Especially the 99, which we'll get to because the 106 and the 99 have a new element that the two narrower models and the 118 don't have. So we'll touch base on that as well. But yeah, pretty exciting time here in Stowe. We've got, gosh, I can't remember what we're up to, but I think we're around 60 inches in the past 7 days. About 5 feet in the past, maybe 4 feet in the past 3 days. We've got a really good storm cycle going right now, and this is on top of 2 previous storms. So thinking back, it's actually similar conditions and similar time of year as when we did the 118 review last year. So funny how things work out, but another series of powder days here at Stowe and another QST 106 review. So let's talk real quick about construction because that's where the changes are. This new version of the QST, and again, like I said, this carries through to all models, has a new version of their CFX Superfiber. So it's called CFX 3 now, and it's basically designed to give the ski a little bit more power, a little bit more responsiveness and energy, kind of strengthen the whole ski a little bit. And then the 106 and the 99, unique among the rest of the QST line, they now have a layer of basalt under the core. So kind of like in between the core and the base of the ski, there's now basalt. So kind of further strengthening that ski by adding the basalt. Shape stays the same, overall concept stays the same. If you're unfamiliar with the line, they kind of use a center strip of metal called TI Power Platform, and then that's kind of supported by, well, it's a full-length poplar wood core, so we'll start there, and then they add in that CFX, the carbon, and the flax fiber, which is kind of woven and blended together, and then now they add that basalt as well. So pretty cool overall construction theme, definitely relatively unique to Salomon. We don't see anybody else using that flax fiber. And we talked about it quite a bit in the 99. I think that flax, along with the metal, gives it some vibration damping that you don't find in a lot of other skis that kind of focus on carbon for their construction. And then, like I said, shape is the same. Something that I really like about the QST line is this really smooth, gradual early taper through the tip. You could say the same about the tail, but it's a little bit less pronounced early taper in the tail. But I'll get to how that affects it in soft snow, which is really where the benefit lies. And then quick touch on rocker. Quite a bit of rocker in the tip. Kind of starts right where my hand is, if you can see that. And then less in the tail, but there is still quite a bit of rocker in the tail. Right there where my hand starts, or where my hand is where the rocker starts. And in between that is camber. So rocker, camber, rocker profile, something that we're starting to see pretty frequently. I think a rocker, camber, rocker profile has kind of emerged as the go-to shape. I mean, that's a broad broad way to describe it, just rocker, camber, rocker. You can have all different variations of that, but that's pretty much what we're seeing across the board, with a few exceptions. But in a ski like this, 106 underfoot, that's pretty much what we're looking at. So let's talk about performance. That's what we're here for after all. I would say the 106 is, arguably one of the most versatile skis in the QST line. And I think the line in general is very versatile. It's very freeride inspired. The 106 and the 118, you could say they are freeride skis. But I think more appropriate that this would be an all-mountain freeride ski. But throughout, the shapes are very, very freeride inspired, which I think is something to kind of keep in your mind about the QST, and it will help you understand their feel and the idea behind this line, the overall concept. But before we get into kind of freeride, soft snow performance, let's talk about groomers, because a 106, we've mentioned this before, but we're getting to the day where a ski that's 106 underfoot, we expect it to have some groomer performance. The previous version of this ski, I don't want to say it was lackluster, because if you go back to the 99 review, it's pretty obvious that I enjoyed skiing it quite a bit. But we've heard some feedback that they weren't exceptionally responsive or energetic on groomers. A couple people wanted more power out of it. And that's basically why Salomon has responded with this new construction. It really does strengthen the ski. I think it holds an edge better on groomers. I think it feels more stable than it did before. I think this ski was already impressively stable for how light it is. But I think that the third version of this CFX fiber, and then the addition of basalt, definitely has made it more stable. And I think one of the most noticeable things on groomers is the increased responsiveness and energy. Marcus, one of my coworkers, he was saying that for him it's a much more pleasurable experience skiing this new version of the 106. It's a little bit more exciting on firm snow, especially. And I think they did a really good job. It still feels lightweight. It's not like they threw a bunch of metal at it and tried to stiffen it up like that. It's still the same ski overall, but it definitely has a stronger, more responsive feel on groomers. Holds an edge impressively well for how wide it is and how much rocker there is and how light it is. So definitely really cool. But to me, the highlight of the 106, and I think you could even go down to the 99 and say the highlight of the 99. This is the 2018 QST 99, by the way, that I just thought I'd bring another QST member of the QST family up here to kind of keep the 106 company. But yeah, the 106 and the 99, definitely the 118, of course. To me, their highlight is the soft snow performance, their playfulness, their freeride characteristics. I've been spending some time on this ski in the past few days here at Stowe, and it's a blast to ski in soft snow. I said in the article, in the written portion of the article, that a couple days ago I started the day on a longer, wider, heavier powder ski, little wider, not too much wider, and took 2 runs on that, and then I switched to the QST. And it is shorter. The other ski I was skiing was up almost around 190, and this is a 181. And I was like, right away, really, really happy that I switched, because here in Stowe we have a lot of tight terrain, and those first 2 runs I skied a couple things where I was working a little bit harder than I thought I needed to, and then switching to the QST 106 immediately felt the quickness. It is a light ski. For the power that you get out of it, it's quite lightweight. The swing weight especially is noticeably light in my opinion. Really easy to throw the ski side to side, which for me was a lot of fun because it was easier for me to ski some of the lines, some of the terrain that I wanted to ski and was kind of didn't necessarily want to on the other powder ski that I was on that day. The QST was easy. Very user-friendly, super easy to throw around, super quick. I think quickness is one of its highlights in off-piste terrain and soft snow. It feels very quick. And then, yesterday when I was on this ski, I think we had like 18 inches in the past 24 hours, so definitely some deep pockets out there. Stowe is notorious for getting tracked out pretty quickly, so by the time I switched to the 106, there were, a lot of the popular runs on the mountain and popular lines in the woods had been tracked. But I was able to find some soft snow, some soft untouched snow, and something, going back to this tip shape, I really like the way this tip, and kind of the tail too, and the whole ski, but when you're skiing you notice it in the tip mostly. The way it reacts in soft snow is like super predictable. Because it's got this long, gradual, early taper, you really know what the ski is going to do. It doesn't have any surprises, and I found that, I think this goes along with the 181. Sometimes I'm on longer skis for powder, like I said, but I was able to put my weight a little bit further forward and get the tip to sink a little bit when I wanted to slow down a little bit, and then ski a more balanced stance when I wanted the ski to ride across the top of the snow. It's definitely easy to get the tip to float when you want it to. And yeah, I talk about this quite a bit in the written portion of the article, but definitely just the way that it sinks in the snow is really predictable. I think I felt the same on the 118 last year, and there's other skis with similar tip shapes where I've said similar things. But yeah, on the QST you get this really nice combination of being lightweight, easy to maneuver, very predictable amount of float. You stay on top of the snow when you want to, or you edge and weight a little differently and you'll sink right in, but the tip will pop right back up. I love that feeling on it, and I think a lot of skiers will like that feeling. Skiing something that's heavier with 2 sheets of metal is sometimes just fatiguing, and to me there's like nothing about this ski that's fatiguing. It's really fun to ski. Super maneuverable, like I said, very playful and easy, but still definitely has that performance. Something that I mentioned in the article, I think for a ski that is at this level of performance, it's pretty approachable for a wide range of ability levels. You don't have to be an expert skier to enjoy it. That said, an expert will absolutely enjoy it, and I think an expert will really be pretty blown away by the combination of being lightweight and pretty stable and pretty powerful and maneuverable. It's just got a really nice blend of performance characteristics. And that kind of brings me to the last thing that I want to talk about performance-wise. When I was skiing it, it felt so light and maneuverable that I began to question what stability would be like when I wanted to ski faster over chopped up snow. And it stays impressively stable for how light it is. Really does a good job of staying stable and quiet over chopped up snow. It doesn't quite match a ski with 2 full sheets of metal, but again, for how light it is, it's really impressive. Really doesn't get deflected that much. You'd think it might because it's light, and when it does, for some reason, it's a really easy ski to recover on, which is something that I kept finding. If I made a mistake or my weight got in the back seat or somewhere where I didn't want it to be, pretty easy to get back and centered and weighted properly and ready for that next turn on it. Definitely doesn't punish mistakes, which is something that I always like in a ski. So to kind of wrap up, we think the QST 106 can be a lot of things for a lot of different skiers. There are a lot of people out there in today's day and age in the ski world that ski something this wide every day, whether you're out west or even here in Vermont. I mean, the past month we've been getting some really consistent soft snow, and you can easily justify having a ski this wide as your daily driver ski. So a lot of people are going to like that. It can carve turns on groomers, it's lightweight, it's not fatiguing over a long day of skiing, can ski tricky, tight terrain, can ski powder, can pretty much do it all. And then I think there's going to be another segment of skiers that uses it as more of a dedicated powder ski. Maybe you're on something narrower as your daily driver. Like from Salomon, maybe you're on an XDR most of the time, then you want something to complement that. The QST 106 would be great. And then we did quite a bit of testing of the 106 with a shift binding on it. You may see in the footage that the real color of the ski is burgundy. We had two pairs of the ski with the consumer or production graphic with shift bindings on it, and then this kind of see-through graphic that's pretty cool, shows construction better. But when we were skiing it with the shift binding, I think this is going to be a great alpine touring ski, and I think it matches the shift really nicely. You know, that binding is a Pintech touring binding on the way up, but a downhill binding on the way down, and I think that's a good way to think about the QST 106 too. It's light enough to be an alpine touring ski, but it's got that stiffness and stability and performance that it could also just be a dedicated alpine ski. So I don't think, we certainly wouldn't be surprised to see quite a few skis from the QST collection with shift bindings on them next year. And when we were skiing it, you know, when we were skiing this ski with a shift binding on it, you really get a sense of what Salomon's trying to do. It's versatile performance without really any sacrifices, or without any major sacrifices. So definitely pretty cool. I think Salomon's got some cool stuff going on right now, and the theme of the whole company with this QST line and the XDR skis, and then the new shift binding really gives you a sense of what Salomon's trying to do. So yeah, that's the QST 106. Definitely some cool changes for 2019. As always, let us know if you have any questions about it, and we will continue to roll out 2019 reviews as quickly as we can. And as always, keep your eye out for results from our 2019 ski test, which will come out in the summer. And you can bet that the 106 will be in there, and the 99 probably will be, or definitely will be too, likely the 92 as well. So yeah, QST 106, brand new, well, new QST construction. Let us know if you have any questions, and we will see you on the slopes.